What's up, guys? My name is Theo. You can call me Matthew or whatever. Dumb head. Doesn't matter. Welcome to another video. I know it's been a while. I had to take a little bit of a break. A couple things came up, and I also just wanted to up the quality of the videos that I was putting out. So you might not see that many videos on this channel in succession. But I'm hoping that the videos I do put up are going to be of higher quality that I'm also much more proud of than the other videos. Not to say that I didn't like the other videos. I just want to do more. I just want to do better. So with that being said, I do actually have a big video coming up on Paper Mario, but before we get to that, I do have another video I do want to talk about. If you follow me at twitch.tv/Thew, you'll probably already know that a lot of stuff we do on here usually ends up being used for videos. So if you want to see the process of videos being made, definitely make sure to follow my Twitch channel. And also, if you're looking to spend a couple bucks, definitely subscribe there. It really does help out a lot, and it does support the content being made there. If you are an avid viewer on my Twitch channel, then you probably already have a lot of channel points, and channel points are little points you accumulate while watching a streamer live on Twitch. It's supposed to incentivize you to hang around the stream, and you can get rewards for watching the stream. Basically, the streamer can choose what rewards they can make on their Twitch channel, so you can do whatever you want really within a TOS bound. I had a channel point reward that if you spend 100,000 channel points, you could maybe play a game for 4 hours. And well, you made me play a game for 4 hours. This is a submission from Undead Blackbird, who really wanted to see me suffer, I guess. And so today I wanted to talk about this game. This is gonna be just a little review sort of video, because I thought, you know what, it's worth talking about. The game in question is called Daffy Duck and the Marvin Missions on the Super Nintendo. You may or may not have heard of it. I actually do recall playing this game a long time ago with an ex of several years ago, but it wasn't enough for me to remember what I was supposed to do, and I didn't even get past the first world, so that's something. So what is Daffy Duck and the Marvin Missions anyway? Well, it's important to understand the context of Daffy Duck and the Marvin Missions first. So Daffy Duck and the Marvin Missions is directly referencing the set of sketches made for Looney Tunes, which stars Daffy Duck role-playing as Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century!
To which Duck Dodgers goes through many adventures, encounters Marvin the Martian pretty much exclusively every single time. He tries to explore a new planet or root out evil or whatever. But if you know the character Daffy Duck, you know he doesn't really care about humanity. He doesn't care about other people. He cares about himself. He cares about being glorified. He cares about the clout, the money, the fame. He cares about all of that. So of course, it's always about him. Daffy Duck wasn't my favorite character. I found Daffy Duck to be mostly obnoxious. So, I mean, yeah. What I did like about these sketches, though, is that instead of like in a typical sketch fashion where if the most obnoxious character is the one that loses the exchange, instead you have two obnoxious characters. You got Marvin and Daffy Duck, so none of them actually really win. They just sort of like hit each other back and forth, and then at the end just nothing really happens. And I kind of like that resolve because you don't really know what to expect in the end, so that's pretty cool. But this video is not about the show Looney Tunes, about the animation. It's about the game on the Super Nintendo. So what is Daffy Duck and the Marvin Missions? Well, this game is bad, but it's a weird kind of bad. It's not like you play it and you immediately look at it and go, yeah, this is bad. It takes a little bit to set in. You have to really play the game for a little bit to really know, okay, this is bad. it's weird because you feel like the developers actually were trying to make something coherent here, but instead the design of the game just kind of falls off. In the game, you're obviously playing as Daffy Duck, and it has different little episodes. I never got past World 2, but when you start a level, or a world rather, it will give you like a splash on the screen that says, you know, this is the level, and it's kind of like episodic, so it's like, this is the episode that Daffy Duck's gonna do today. And I'm not sure if that references the older sketches, but regardless, that's kind of how it's like structured. And in a Metroidvania style fashion, you're kind of plunked on this big map where you can explore in many different corners of the map where you can find items, upgrades, and whatnot. There's also a loadout at the beginning of the stage where you can choose guns and weapons that you can purchase at a shop with money you've collected to help give you an edge. I really didn't find anything useful in the shop here. The most useful I could find was just getting extra continues to just give me more lives, because a lot of the guns I just ended up not using, and most of the time I would just try to avoid enemies rather than like spar with them. But if you have different weapons, they can deal more damage and make it easier to kill enemies, but you also have limited ammo. So like, it's sort of like I don't know if I want to pay that much money for a weapon that I'm probably going to run out of soon, because as you will find, a lot of these enemies are bullet sponges. So even with high damage weapons, you're still going to have to shoot them like 5 or 6 times. And it's just like, why? Might as well just bullet sponge with the infinite ammo gun. Like, that's what I think. Anyway, you're in this map, you can explore, you can find extra lives, you can find the guns anyway, and other such things, and continue points, and whatnot. And the continue points are in the form of fuel, so if you run out of lives and you use a continue, you can spend money to refuel your ship, basically, which is like how the continue system works. So if you don't have enough points, then you will have to restart the game from the very beginning. There's no password system, so you won't be able to explore levels if you just don't know how to play the game, and that's just unfortunate with me, because I would have liked to use the password system to at least explore what this game has to offer. But I didn't. You didn't have it, so no. Mechanically, how's this game? Well, it is... You go really fast. Like, you walk way too fast. And you might be thinking, well, that's great. You can just bolt through the level. No, it's not good, because we are running way too fast, and you're always going to run right into enemies. It's... you don't see the enemies coming, but you're just like just little bits, like even just walking a little bit, you go flying across the map. And it's like, you know, there's got to be a balance. Either just calm down the running animation so that we at least have time to react if we see an enemy, or make it so that the enemies like are more avoidable. A lot of the enemies are just way too big to navigate around because they want you to shoot, they want you to spar with it. So it just kind of is counterintuitive. You want us to go fast, but you also want us to stand still and shoot an enemy for 20 minutes. I don't get it. The goal of each stage is to just find the exit of the level. None of this big map stuff really means anything. None of this like big map stuff really means anything, which is also kind of weird. It would be different if you had a big map and you had different objectives you had to go to, and maybe like an arrow sort of generally pointing in the direction that they want you to go. But instead, you're sort of just trying to find the exit. That's all it is. So it's just a maze, really. It's just a big maze. There are some arrows, and those arrows are also acting checkpoints. If you touch these little arrow like signs, if you die, you'll go back to that arrow. However, there's just not enough of them, and sometimes they're in places that are just a little bit confusing to understand, and you end up just like not really paying attention to them, and you just sort of hope that you're sort of on the right track sometimes. It's weird. Now, I was able to actually beat World 1, so I can go through that, and we can go through a little bit of World 2, but after that, I really don't know what else to say about this game. Where there's duck, there's fire! Where there's duck, there's Yemen. Ho! Hee hee ho ho. So World 1 is going to take place in a volcano planet sort of deal. And at the end of each level, there's going to be a little boss section. So once you eventually find the end of the stage, you'll see Marvin planting these little seeds into the ground, which grow these enemies out from the ground. And then you just spend like a minute or two just tanking through these enemies. Usually I think it's 2 of them at a time, and you just shoot them down. They're tanky like all the other enemies, and then you're done with the level. And pretty simple. You're just gonna do rinse, repeat. Gonna battle 2 grass bean dudes, and then you move on to the next stage. There is an area boss though, so at the end of the first world, you do battle against Marvin in some sort of like jet, like military jet vehicle looking thing with a bunch of saw blades and stuff, and not surprisingly, it's a tanky boss. And this sort of leads me to believe the entire game is going to be structured like this, so I'm kind of glad I didn't spend more than 4 hours on this game, to be honest. I remember struggling really hard during this boss because I was desperately looking for any cheese that could make this boss really easy, and there wasn't really any definitive cheese. You sometimes had to tank shots, or take the fight really slowly, and that's really sucky because you have to hit this thing like 100 times on the basic weapon. Sure, if you have better weapons, you can definitely decrease that amount of time you have to hit, but you're still looking at a really tanky boss that's really tanky for no reason, basically. World 2, I never finished. I think I got to the second stage of the second world, but it was pretty brutal. To be honest, it was it's mostly underwater, which is not a great start, and also it's just like much bigger maze, much more wide open, and just much more confusing trying to figure out where to go. And on top of that, they sometimes expect you to try to get up on high ledges by using little like jet plumes in the underwater sections, but sometimes there's like enemies like kind of roaming on the top, and you can't actually get up where you need to be, and you just end up dying up there. I found myself way more frustrated over here because it just was like, it was way more confusing to figure out where you were supposed to go, and B, sometimes you would just get to a section where you're like, I just can't get up there now because it's someone's blocking or whatever. It was just, woo! Is this really a review for a game? I don't know. I mean, aren't you supposed to play through the whole game before you review it? Or am I allowed to tap out? Am I allowed to tap out? I'd like to tap out because I really was done with this game after I logged off. I was like, yeah, that's all I need to see. And that's the thing I was saying. If we look back to the beginning, that's the thing I was saying. This game is like not outwardly bad when you first play it. You think like it's got something going on. Like I could manage with this, but it's like a secret type of bad. It's not like a so bad it's funny. It's bad because like just mechanically they screwed up. I think they're really trying to make a good game here, but it really does not translate, and it falls really flat, which is unfortunate because I think this game could be really fun if it was just structured differently and designed a little bit better. That being said, there is a speedrun community for this game. You can beat this game in 15 minutes. So the people that run this game, you must have really had a history with this game growing up or something, because like goddamn. But you know what, there is some cool speedrun tech I did discover. I'm not sure if it is gonna used in the speedrun, but I found some tech that could be speedrunnable, which is like, there was one thing I learned where you could do like this boost. So essentially, when you shoot your gun, you sort of like gain this weird little momentum, and so when you jump, if you shoot your gun and jump kind of like in tandem, like a frame to frame sort of deal, you go 1-2, you get this interesting jump boost, which is like higher than your normal jump, and sometimes you could find yourself getting up higher ledges using that sort of boost, which I thought was kind of cool. Another thing that could make the speedrun kind of interesting is just abusing damage boosts. Like your iframes are really generous, so if you take damage, you kind of can pull through for a little while. And like taking damage from enemies to get certain boosts up other ledges is pretty cool. So I could see pretty interesting strats here. But otherwise, I don't really want to touch this game even for a speedrun. So props to speedrunners for I guess putting up with this game. I don't know. So yeah, there we go. That is Daffy Duck and the Marvin missions. Yeah, I know it's not a terribly amazing video game review, but I thought I would just make this review because you know what, hey, we're gonna talk about it. It was a weird night on stream, but if you want to catch some of this stuff, we do a little thing called Mystery Monday. We do it only when we reach a certain sub goal on Twitch. So if we reach a certain amount of new subs in that week, we will do Mystery Monday the next week. And Mystery Monday can be a variety of things, and a lot of you gamers that are already watching my stream really enjoy Mystery Mondays so far. So if you're also interested in seeing some of the weird stuff that can happen on Mystery Mondays, definitely consider checking my stream out. Otherwise, gamers, I'll see you next time. Paper Mario video is coming, so hope to see you guys then. Bye!